Right, welcome to this index review for Craftworlds. So Eldar we're going to take a look at in this video. I thought I'd go for this one next because it's one of the most requested so far. People have been asking, can you do a review for the Craftworld Eldar? So that's the plan in this video. It's interesting here with 8th edition. I think you will see some changes to my current Eldar list, but what we're going to do here is go through each of the unit entries for Craftworld Eldar, talk about each of the units, see how viable they are, and give you an idea of what units are good, what units are not so good, and then sort of talk about it from the perspective of having my own Eldar army as well. So I've got mine from gamingfigures.com. They do Games Workshop at a discounted rate. It's 15% off the usual retail price. If your order comes to over £100, you get another 5% off on top of that, and then orders in the UK, if they're over £40, you get free postage as well. And it all just helps just to bring the cost down of collecting Warhammer 40,000. They do have ranges as well, different gaming systems, also at discounted rates as well, so you can check them out. That's gamingfigures.com. So I'm really interested in this one because Eldar have been the top army on the channel, and rightly so. They've deserved it. They've performed well in a lot of games. I didn't go for an ultimate cheesy list for them. Tried to go for variety, choosing units I liked, but still the army did generally well, and just some deadly units in there. And then Eldar in 7th edition, they had a decent codex with some amazing bonuses, and then some very strong formations as well. Has that changed? I think they've been toned down, and which is fair. I think they're trying to level out all of the armies, so all the broken formations are all away, and you may see some of the units here just cut back and toned down a little bit in this book. But I think there are some units that were good, especially ones that I have, units that were good, not as good, and then I've got my eye on some new units potentially to add in as well, but we'll cover those as we get stuck into this codex. So Eldar first, or the Eldari now. Eldari. This is there's some background information you get inside the index book here. Nowhere near as much as a regular codex. Remember, this book is being shared between Dark Eldar or Drakari, Ynnari Harlequins, and Necrons also. So you come to Craftworld's army list. So we'll come to abilities here. So the following abilities are common with several Craftworlds units. So Ancient Dooms, the same terminology from the previous codex, previous edition. Ancient Doom, the rules have changed though. You can reroll fouled hit rolls in the fight phase for this unit in a turn in which it charges or is charged by a Slaanesh unit. However, you must add 1 to morale tests for this unit if it was in 3 inches of any Slaanesh units. So just as a particular rule just there. I've never had to use it. It's only when you come up against Slaanesh. Battle Focus. It's generally the same here. It's Battle Focus. This unit can shoot in the shooting phase as if it hasn't moved or advanced, with the exception of heavy weapons. Heavy weapons still the -1 to shooting, but you can basically move and advance, or move and run, and then just shoot as normal with them. So that speed and flexibility is still there with the Eldar. So far so good. These are the psychic disciplines, severely cut down. There's 2 tables here, each with 3. There's your war gear, and then we'll go straight onto the unit entries here. This is a lot of units here for the Eldar. They cover them all here in this index book. So the first one is Eldrad here. So Eldrad Ulfran. So before I get going here, the impression I'm getting with 8th edition is shooting phase is good against infantry mostly. For clearing away infantry, the shooting phase is pretty cool. I've got a feeling that vehicles are going to be tough to bring down with shooting. I've been doing some calculating with different units. It's going to take a lot of shots and a lot of weaponry just to bring down one vehicle. And sort of a medium sort of tank with 10, 11, 12 wounds, 3 up save. It's going to take a fair amount of hits to bring that down. So I'm thinking that the way to bring vehicles down is to hit them in combat with multiple attack units to just pile on the wounds quite effectively with minuses to their saves and sort of damage results of like D3 or 3 or 4 or 5, that kind of effect. I think it's a quicker way to bring vehicles down. So I'm just bearing that in mind as I'm thinking of an Eldar army here. But just bearing that in mind as we go through. Eldrad Ulfrin then. So he's power 9, just for if you do a quick play game to calculate your points quickly. It's power 9 for him. Movement 7. Weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, 6 wounds, just 2 attacks for him, leadership 9, and then a 6+ save. Eldrad Ulfrin is a single model armed with a shuriken pistol, a witchblade, and the staff of Ulfamar. Only one of this model can be included in your army. I do have the model actually from my Death Mask set. Now for this book you have to go to the back here to get your points costs. So bear in mind, it seems that 8th edition the points for pretty much everything have been inflated, especially for vehicles, transports and characters. So Eldrad should be here. It's there. He's 180 points. It's including his war gear, so you don't have to add that on top, it's just in brackets there. So shuriken pistol then, we'll cover it here. I'll gradually go through each of the weapons as they're introduced. So shuriken pistol, range 12, pistol 1, strength 4, no AP, and then damage 1. But if you roll a 6, the AP is -3 instead. So similar sort of shuriken rules as it was previously. Then a witchblade is a melee weapon, strength of the user, which case is 3, AP 0, and then D3 damage coming through. But you always wound on a 2+, so not too bad. Your opponent's always going to get their full armor save, no problem. So not going to be effective as much against units with like a 3+ save or better. The staff of Ulfamar is +2 strength, so now we'll be fighting at strength 5. It's AP -2 and then D3 damage, but there's no 2+ to wound on this one, so I wouldn't say it's that amazing for combat. And bearing all that in mind, he's only got 2 attacks, so he's okay, but he's pretty useless. Wouldn't expect him to do much in close combat. He's got Ancient Doom, Battle Focus as we've covered. He has a Ghost Helm. Roll a d6 whenever Eldrad suffers a mortal wound. On a 5+, the wound is ignored. Helpful enough. Things like Perils of the Warp, where you suffer now D3 mortal wounds, that could save him a little bit. He has got 6 wounds now to absorb damage. Armour of the Last Runes, Eldrad has a 3+ invuln. That really adds to his durability. There, 3+ invuln, 6 wounds, pretty good. Runes of the Farseer, once in each psychic phase you can re-roll any number of dice used for Eldrad Ulfrin's attempt to manifest a psychic power. That makes him nice and reliable, so you can re-roll those dice there. So you're rolling 2 dice trying to beat a score. If you roll poorly in any of those, just re-roll them. That makes him pretty reliable. Once in each psychic phase. Okay, so attempt to manifest or deny. Okay, so it's not constantly, it's only once in the phase. Spirit Link, whenever you pass a psychic test for Eldrad, you can add 1 to the next psychic test you take for him until the end of the phase. Okay, so just becomes a bit more reliable trying to cast a second power. Psyker, Eldrad can attempt to manifest 3 psychic powers in each friendly psychic phase, and attempt to deny 2 psychic powers in each enemy psychic phase. Cool. He knows Smite and 3 psychic powers from the runes of Fate, Discipline. So he's a decent psyker for sure. He really is good. He's reliable for casting the powers. He's got some pretty good defense there. You can try and block 2, and then you can manifest Smite and up to 3 others. So he is, for a psyker, he's really cool. The model's really nice as well, that they've resculpted. I suppose the key issue here then is how good now is the runes of Fate, Discipline, which we'll cover now. Interesting to see this, because I have the miniature, could paint him up. So runes of battle, runes of fate, here we go. So familiar terms here, guide is 1, so it's D3. So for him, if he knows 3 of them, he knows all 3 of these. for him, yeah. For psychic powers here it says there's 2 charts. You can roll a d3 or you can choose which ones you want. And then that's it. Okay, so guide. Guide has a warp charge value of 7, so on 2d6 you need 7 or more to make it go off. If manifested, choose a friendly Asurmen unit, which is pretty much all of the Eldar units, and I was looking them up, pretty much all of them. Within 24 of the Psyker, you can reroll failed to hit rolls for that unit's ranged weapons until your next Psychic phase. Pretty helpful actually. Yeah, that's a good power. Doom. Doom is a warp charge value of 7. Again, pretty straightforward to try and cast that. If manifested, choose an enemy unit within 24. You can reroll failed to wound rolls against that unit to your next Psychic phase. These are helpful powers here. So Eldrad would be a good asset for the Eldar army. And then Fortune, again it says value of 7. If manifested, choose a friendly Asurmen unit within 24 of the Psyker to your next Psychic phase. Whenever the unit suffers a wound, roll a dice. 5+ the wound is ignored. If a unit already has an ability of a similar effect, for example the Avatar of Khaine, Molten Body, this psychic power does not affect them. Okay, so you can't stack it up. There's sort of a 5+ feel no pain ability just there to protect units as well. So it's nice variety. So it's just some enhancements. He's not using these for attacking, it's just some enhancements here to help units. Those ability to rerolls is helpful. So his ability just to say to try and cast all 3 of these each turn, they've got decent range. So yeah, he's pretty good. Eldrad's pretty good, and I get a lovely model. Next one's Prince Yriel, power 5 for him. So imagine he is quite cheap. It's 104 points, including war gear, so he's a cheap character here. He's not very much at all. 104 points is pretty good for a character in 8th edition. His movement 7, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength and toughness 3, 6 wounds for him, nice, 4 attacks as well, it's good. Leadership 9, 3 up save. Prince Yriel is a single model armed with an Eye of Wrath, Spear of Twilight and Sunburst grenades. Only one of this model can be included in your army. Okay, so Eye of Wrath. It used to be that blast that exploded out, now it's a ranged weapon, it's range 3 inches. It's pistol D6, so you get D6 shots. Strength 6, AP -2, and then damage 1. So it's decent enough, but it's a 1-use only weapon. But pretty good. I mean, D6 is very, very random. You could roll 1, you could roll 6. So not very reliable. Next is the Spear of Twilight, which I think is a very good weapon here because Spear of Twilight's melee, strength of the user, it's AP -2. Damage is D3, and then the weapon always wounds on a 2+, and there's nothing here to say that doesn't count against vehicles and so on. So he's on 2s to wound vehicles, 2s to wound Imperial Knights. Yeah. So you think 4 attacks, he's going to hit with 3 or 4 of them, and then he's going to be on 2s to wound the target, and then D3 damage dished out. He's going to half kill a vehicle in a round of combat, so pretty good, not too bad at all. Sunburst grenades, cover those now, it's range 6, you can throw it. It's D6 grenade, D6 shots, strength 4, AP -1 and 1 damage. So he has Ancient Doom, Battle Focus, he's cursed, you reroll saving throws of 6 in the fight phase, so it's not as bad as it used to be. So if you're shot at, it doesn't count, it's just only in the combat phase. Force Shielded does have the 4+ invuln. Then Path of Command, you can reroll hit rolls of 1 for friendly Eandan units within 6. So if you're going with that faction, I don't get that now. That wouldn't count for my Eldar that I have, because they're not from that craft world. Other than that, I think it's pretty good. And it seems like a bit of a bargain here. I do rate that spear. It can't be thrown. I was wondering if it could be, but it can't. It's just a melee weapon. But that 2+ to wound adds a nice bit of reliability, and remember he's on 2s to hit, so Prince Yriel is definitely a viable option. Beautiful model as well. Right, next then is Illic Nightspear. It's power 4, movement 7, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength toughness 3, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, 5+ save. She's armed with a single Voidbringer, Shuriken Pistol and Power Sword. Only one of this model can be taken. So Shuriken Pistol, Voidbringer, range 48, heavy 1, strength 4, AP -3 and then D3 damage. This weapon can target enemy character even if they're not the closest enemy unit. This weapon wounds on a 2+, unless it's targeting a vehicle. Each time you roll a wound of a 6 for this weapon, inflicts a mortal wound in addition to any damage. So pretty nasty for the Psyker there. The rules are you can't target, you can only target a character if you're the closest to them, if they're the closest model to the unit that's shooting, but for here you can just pick out characters with this sniper. You're on 2s to hit, then you're on 2s to wound. So AP -3 and D3, yeah, going to pick off wounds off a character pretty good. So no, that's a pretty nasty sniper rifle, that one. Armed with Power Sword as well. Strength for the user, AP -3 and then 1 point of damage. So Illic Nightspear is 88 points. Not too bad. Spare points kicking around. You could go for Illic Nightspear here. Appear unbidden. During deployment, you can set up Illic Nightspear walking the winding paths of the webway instead of placing him on the battlefield, or him, I thought it was her, at the beginning of the first battle round. But before the first turn begins, Illic Nightspear emerges from the webway. Set him up anywhere on the battlefield that's more than 9 inches away from enemy models. Okay, I don't think you want to get that close anyway, but it adds that ambush ability. I mean, the Voidbringer's range 48, so you could sit out miles away from trouble. Bringer of the True Death, you can reroll to hit and wound rolls of 1 when they target a Necron unit. Okay, so you can extremely reliable against them. Should be good to hunt a Necron Overlord or something. Hunter Unseen, your opponent must subtract 1 from there to hit rolls for attacks that target this unit. In addition, add 2 to this model's saving throws for being in cover instead of 1. Cool. There's nice modifications there as well. So Illic's pretty good. Next, Asurmen here. Movement 7, weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 2, strength 4, toughness 4, 6 wounds, 5 attacks, leadership 9, 2 up save. It's armed with a short sword of Asur and 2 Avenger Shuriken catapults. You can only take 1 of them. The Avenger Shuriken catapults, range 18, assault 2, strength 4, damage 1. If you get a 6 to wound, it's AP -3. The sword of Asur here is +1 strength, AP -3, and then D3 points of damage. Each time you take a wound of a 6, the target suffers D3 mortal wounds in addition to any other damage. So it's stacking it on top of your regular damage coming through as well. That is lethal. Because the key here is in addition to any other damage. So your usual damage, you roll a 6 to wound, then it's the usual damage is minus AP3 and D3, and then on top of that you get D3 mortal wounds as well. So deadly. And then he's got 5 attacks, 2s to hit. The only downside is the strength, but he's strength 5 because he's +1 for this one. So pretty nasty in combat actually. Would struggle against vehicles, but monstrous creatures, yeah, no, anything at toughness 5 or worse. Small, lower toughness, multiple wound characters he would be very good against. Yeah, or taking on Terminators he would be good, I'd imagine. Yes, because the D3 damage, the mortal wounds and so on, ignoring invuns. Yeah, he'd be pretty good against unit Terminators. He is 175 points, so expensive enough. Ancient Doom Battle Focus, Shield of Grace has a 4+ invuln against ranged weapons and 3+ invuln against melee weapons. So nice. So yeah, it's designed to get in combat. Defense Tactics. When Asurmen fires Overwatch, he hits on a 5+, regardless of any modifiers. Okay, not that amazing. Hand of Asurien. Friendly aspect warrior units within 6 have a 5+ invuln. Friendly Dire Revenge units have a 4+ invuln. Ouch, God, that's pretty. Now, talk about value for points. You bury him, deploy him amongst, say, 4 units of 10 Dire Revengers, all of a sudden they've all got a 4+ invuln. That's some enhancement. If you're a fan of Dire Revengers, Asurmen is a very, very good option to take. And you know, Dire Revengers not always great for close combat. Stick him in with them; he will really, really help them out. Okay, next, Jain Zar, power 7. She costs 146 points, including all war gear. Movement 8, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength of toughness 4, 6 wounds, 4 attacks. Leadership 9, 2+ save. She's armed with a Silent Death and Blade of Destruction. You can only choose one of them, one model per army. So the Silent Death, range 12, this is the Triscale type weapon. Assault 4, so she'll need 2s to hit with 4 dice. Strength of the user. Oh right, okay, because she's throwing it. So strength 4, AP -3 and then 1 damage, so not bad. There. Blade of Destruction is strength of the user, it's AP -3. It's D3 damage. You can reroll failed to wound rolls for this weapon. So strength's not so high, but you're going to do the reroll with that Blade of Destruction. Well, I would still rate Asurmen better for combat. Acrobatic, you add 3 to your rolls when she advances or charges. She's got Ancient Doom, Battle Focus. A Disarming Strike. At the beginning of each fight phase, you can choose a weapon on an enemy infantry model within an inch. Roll a d6. On a 3+, the model cannot use that weapon. Cool. So you're worried about a power fist or something nasty going to hit you, on a 3+. You can, your opponent's not allowed to use it. That's quite cool. Got to remember that though as you're fighting, not to forget that one. Banshee Mask. Jain Zar always fights first in the fight phase, even if she didn't charge. If the enemy units have charged or that have similar ability, then alternate choosing units to fight with, starting with the player whose turn it is. Okay. Okay, right. So you still may not get to go first. If the enemy unit has units that have charged or that have a similar ability, then alternate, starting the player whose turn it is. So you're not guaranteed to go first. If it's your opponent's turn and they've charged, that unit will get to go first, and then it will be Jain Zar's turn. Or Shout. Your opponent must subtract 1 from to hit rolls for attacks that target Jain Zar, which is quite getting hard to hit. Cry of War and Ending. Enemy units cannot fire Overwatch at Jain Zar, or a friendly unit of Howling Banshees within 6. Okay, so she's a pretty good enhancement for Banshees as well. Just giving you that incentive to put the right character with the right unit. It's totally fine. So there's no way the Eldar are rubbish now in 8th edition. They're still really good, as you can see by these statistics, stats. They are pretty decent. So Karandras next. He looks expensive. 168 points. Okay, so more the higher end. So movement 7, weapon skill 2, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength of toughness 4, 6 wounds, 4 attacks. Leadership 9, 2+ save. He's armed with a Scorpion Chainsword, Scorpion's Claw and Sunburst grenades. You can only choose one. Scorpion's Claw for shooting. Range 12, assault 2, strength 4, and then the Shuriken roll. Scorpion Chainsword is +1 strength. That's it. And then Scorpion's Claw is melee weapon. Times 2 strength, so he becomes strength 8. So AP -3, and then it's D3 damage. When attacking with this weapon, it's -1 to hit, so beyond 3s to hit with this weapon. Yeah, not bad. Okay, and then yeah, okay. Sunburst grenades, we've seen that already. Okay. So I'm just thinking, see, I'm looking at Harlequins. if you equip a unit of Harlequins out of troop, and for the same kind of points, and you give them things like caresses, embraces, Harlequin's kisses, each of those models has 4 attacks. So that's 20 attacks for that unit. And you're paying out the same kind of points cost as here, if not less. He just gets 4 attacks. See, it's multiple models with nasty attacks is the key. You know, he's, you know, in 7th he would run into a vehicle and destroy it, hit the rear armor, detonate it. He's not going to kill a vehicle in 1 turn. The absolute maximum he's going to score is 12, which will kill a vehicle, but to do that he'd need to hit with all 4 attacks. He'd need to wound with all 4 and then score, max out the D3s as well, which is next to him. You know, the odds of that are ridiculous. So he's almost guaranteed not to kill a medium vehicle, you know, with 10, 12 wounds. It's just not going to destroy it. The key in 8th edition is multiple models with AP minus, you know, minuses on their AP, and then dishing out D3 points of damage. Single characters aren't going to bring down big monstrous creatures anymore. They're not going to bring down vehicles anymore, just in a shock attack. Used to be that way, but not now. 8th is shifting now. I get that, I sense that. So if you can find units that multiple models that can dish out amount of damage, I think that's more effective than these just relying on these special characters. So Ancient Doom Battle Focus. Master of Stealth. During deployment you can set up Karandras in the shadows instead of placing him on the battlefield. If you do so at the end of any of your movement phases, he can stalk from his hiding place. When he does so, setting up anywhere on the battlefield that's more than 9 inches away from enemy models. Okay, so it sounds really good. It means he can charge, but it is more than 9. So to charge, he would need a... I was going to say he needs a 10, but I think they'll all say you have to get within an inch of an enemy model to fight in combat. So technically, I think I'm right, he just would need a 9. You need to roll a 9 on 2 dice, which means you need a very good roll. So it's quite unlikely going to make it into combat. So the odds are there, but tactically that's a big risk to take that during the game. Shadow Strike, add 1 to hit rolls for attacks for Karandras that target a unit in cover. Okay. Then the Scorpion's Bite. At the beginning of each fight phase, roll 4d6 if this model is within an inch of an enemy infantry unit. For each 5 or 6, that unit suffers a mortal wound. If 2 or more infantry units are within 1, choose 1 target before rolling any dice. Okay, so chance to dish out a bit of damage, there. Death by 1,000 Stings. Each time you roll a hit roll of 6 with making close combat attacks for Karandras, or a model of striking Scorpions within 6, that model can immediately make another close combat attack. These extra attacks cannot generate additional attacks. Alright, so you rolling 6s to hit, you get a free attack. So, again, it becomes worth his points the more units of Scorpions you have nearby. If you're going for a Scorpion themed army, you've got 2 or 3 units of them. Brilliant. It's going to really enhance them. 1 unit of Scorpions like I have, I don't know whether it's worth taking Karandras just to help 1 unit of them. Yeah, see, for example, a bit ahead of ourselves here, but say a fusion gun causes d6 points of damage. In the old days, in 7th, a fusion gun could pop a vehicle, boom, blow it up. But now, the maximum it can do is half kill an average vehicle, and that's maxing out, you know, your results. So it's multiplying your effectiveness is the key if you're really looking to destroy vehicles and monstrous creatures all in one go, sort of deleting and trying to take out units quickly. Fuegan here then, for the Fire Dragons, his power 8 for him. He is 160 points, so expensive enough. Movement 7, 2+, and weapon skill and ballistic skill. Strength 5 for him actually. toughness 4, 6 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, 2 up, save. He's armed with a fire axe, a fire pike and melter bombs. You can only choose one. So the fire pike then is range 18. Yeah, this is it again. Range 18, assault 1, strength 8, AP minus 4, and the damage is a d6. So yeah, you could hit a land raider, you wound it, and then you roll your damage, and then you roll a 1. So the ability here just to perform very, very poorly. Abilities: if the target's within half the range of this weapon, to 9 inches, you roll 2 dice when inflicting damage and discard the lowest. It makes it a bit more reliable, but melter weaponry, nowhere near as effective as it used to be. The fire axe is melee. Strength of the user is strength 5, AP minus 4, d3 points of damage. Melter bomb, range 6, so you can throw it now, which is interesting. I think you're allowed to, in 8th now, you can fire all of your ranged weapons. So you might be able to throw the grenade and shoot with the fire pike. I could be wrong on that one, but it is strength 8, AP4 and d6 damage. You can reroll failed wound rolls for this weapon when targeting a vehicle. Okay, so it's a pretty reliable way of wounding a vehicle there. Ancient Doom Battle Focus. Assured Destruction. You can reroll wound rolls of 1 in the shooting phase for attacks Fuegan makes against monsters and vehicles, so it helps a little bit. Unflinching Focus. You reroll hit rolls of 1 for Fuegan's ranged weapons and for those of friendly fire dragons within 6. There's his enhancement there. Last to fall. Roll d6 whenever Fuegan suffers a wound or mortal wound on a 5+, his wound is ignored. Okay, so what they're doing here is, it's not an invuln save, but it's like a special feel no pain type ability. Unquenchable Resolve. At the end of the first fight phase, in which Fuegan suffers 1 or more unsaved wounds, his strength and attacks characteristics is increased by 2. These bonuses last for the rest of the game. Cool, so he gets better if he's wounded. So Fuegan's pretty good. Next on, Baharroth is power 6. Looks a bit cheaper. It's 120. I think Prince Yriel's a bargain. Compared to these, Prince Yriel's pretty cool. At 104 points. So Baharroth, movement 14 for him with his swooping hawk wings. Weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength 4, toughness 4, 6 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, 2 up, save. He's a single model armed with a shining blade and hawk's talon. You can only pick one of them. You can only include one of him per army. So the hawk's talon's range 24, assault 4, strength 5, AP minus it's AP 0, damage 1. It's pretty poor. The hawk's talon. The shining blade is strength of the user, AP minus 2, and d3 points of damage. If a unit suffers any unsaved wounds in this weapon, your opponent must subtract 1 from its units to hit rolls until the end of the turn. Pretty poor, really. Cry of the Wind. During deployment, you can set up Baharroth in the skies. Okay, then he descends. It's more than 9 inches away from enemy models. Sky Leap. At the beginning of your movement phase, if Baharroth is not within an inch of enemy models, he can leap back into the skies. Remove him from the battlefield. He can return to the battlefield as described in the Cry of the Wind ability. He may not sky leap and descend on swooping hawk wings in the same turn. If the battle ends with him in the skies, he's considered to be slain. Okay. Baharroth's Grenade Pack. Baharroth can fire a spread of grenades as he flies over enemy units in his movement phase. To do so, after Baharroth has moved, pick one enemy unit that he flew over, then roll a d6 for each model in the enemy unit up to a maximum of 3 dice. Each time you get 4+, the target suffers 1 mortal wound. Okay, so chance to pick off 1 or 2 models. Okay, not that amazing. The Brilliant Sun. You can add 1 to the leadership of friendly warrior units within 6 of aspect warrior units within 6 of Baharroth. Add 2 for friendly swooping hawk units. Okay, Blazing Fury. You can reroll hit rolls of 1 for friendly swooping hawk units within 6. Okay, not that amazing at all. I'd say it's the worst out of all of them. Okay, Maugan Ra is next. Maugan Ra's movement, his power 8, looks a bit expensive here. He's 159, so he is. His movement 6, 2+ weapon skill, 2+ ballistic skill, strength and toughness 4, 6 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9, 2 up save. He's armed with the Morgitar, and you can only choose one of him per army. So the Morgitar, shooting. When attacking with this weapon, choose one of the profiles below. Each time you make a wound of 6. This weapon is resolved at AP -3 instead of -1. So, a Shrieker. It's range 36, assault 1, so it's a one-shot weapon. Strength 6, AP -1, unless you're a 6, it becomes -3. An infantry model that is slain by an attack made of this weapon, its unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. See that you're picking off 1 or 2 models here, and it's only -1 off your armour save. Shuriken, assault 4, strength 6, AP -1, and if you're getting 6s to wound, it's AP -3. So pretty tame there for shooting. The Morgtar, Scythe Blade in melee is +2 strength, that makes him +6 strength 6, AP -2, and then D3 points damage. It's not bad in combat, not too bad. Ancient Doom battle focus, Whirlwind of Death. Maugan Ra could fire the Morgtar twice in each shooting phase. Okay, so potentially 8 shots coming out there from him. That's better. You just doubled its effectiveness, so that's better. The Harvester, you can reroll to hit rolls of 1 for his ranged weapon, and for those of friendly Dark Reapers within 6. Okay, so now he's pretty good. He's on 2s to hit rerolling 1s. So extremely reliable shooting. Inescapable Death. Maugan Ra always hits on a 2+ when firing a ranged weapon, regardless of any modifiers. Although he still only hits on a 6 for Overwatch. Okay. Legacy of Altansar. You could reroll wound rolls of 1 for Maugan Ra's attacks against Chaos units. Alright. Yeah, it's not too bad. Just that single rule there of firing twice has enhanced him. It's doubled the effectiveness of his shooting. Next is, right, so on to regular Autarch now. A regular Autarch will cost you 65 points. That's with no war gear, so you have to add your other war gear on top. So, regular Autarch then, movement 7, it's power 5 by the way, movement 7, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength and toughness 3, 5 wounds, 4 attacks, leadership 9 and a 3+ save, so decent stat line. It comes with a shuriken pistol and sunburst grenades, covered those. So, these are his options. You can take a Banshee Mask, which we've covered, and then Mandy Blasters, which we'll come to for striking scorpions. Basically, Mandy Blasters, if you roll a 6 in close combat, you get 1 roll. If you get a 6, you cause a mortal wound. So it's not that amazing for 1 model, but better for multiple model unit, which is again sort of what I'm hinting at here for effectiveness in 8th edition. War gear options. This model will replace its shuriken pistol with a fusion pistol. Now, a fusion pistol will cost 9 points, so it isn't too bad an upgrade. It's range 6, pistol 1, it's strength 8 for a pistol, it's AP -4, and then D6 points of damage. That's pretty good for 9 points, just give him that. And he's got a very nasty pistol indeed. So that's pretty cool. It's only 9 points to do it. If you get within 3 inches, you roll 2 dice, choose the best for your damage result. So fusion pistol's pretty cool. And for 9 points, I think it's well spent on him, needing 2s to hit. Your other options are, you may take up to 2 weapons from the Autarch weapon list. Autarch weapons list. Maybe I'll just call them out here. Avenger Shuriken Catapult. You can take a Death Spinner, a Fusion Gun, a Las Blaster, a Power Sword, a Reaper Launcher, and a Scorpion Chainsword. A model can only carry one of these, which is the Reaper Launcher, Las Blaster and Fusion Gun. Okay. So the stats aren't for them here, so we'll cover those weapons as we come to the units. Like Fusion Gun, for example, we'll cover that when we come to the Fire Dragons. But that's the options that he can take. For the Autarch just there, so you can kit him out how you want, similar to how he was in the previous edition. So we'll just move on to the special rules here. Banshee Master we've covered, Ancient Doom Battle Focus. He does come with a Force Shield, so 4+ Invuln. It's quite nice to customise your own one of these. So all those options are still there. You can reroll to hit rolls of 1 for friendly Craftworld units within 6. So that's Path of Command. That's nice. That's in combat, I'm guessing, and in shooting. So pretty helpful, actually. Again, having him hang around with multiple units seems to work well. So you're sort of looking to cluster your army together. And you can do that now. You can cluster together as tight as you like, because blast templates and blast markers are all gone. Mandy Blasters is covered. Just may not have covered that. So if this model has Mandy Blasters at the beginning of each fight phase, roll a d6. If this model is an inch of an enemy infantry unit, roll of a 6, suffers a mortal wound. If 2 or more infantry units are within an inch, choose one to target before rolling any dice. Okay. So the odds are one model's not going to do very well. That I probably wouldn't bother to pay out the upgrades just for the sake of one model. So then you've got Autarch with Swooping Hawk wings. Don't need to. We'll cover the special rules for Swooping Hawk wings when we come to Swooping Hawks. Just to say that his power 6 is a bit more expensive. It's 85 points, an extra 20 points for him to have that ability. That's the model just there, the new plastic one. Autarch with Warp Jump Generator. I'm just going to skip that, just cover Warp Jump Generators in with Warp Spiders. Again, you can kit him out, give him a decent weapon. Yeah, just have him hang around with your unit. Doesn't have to be too expensive. Yeah. That may be an option, just to enhance the unit, stick a decent character with them. Autarch Skyrunner. This is your jet bike version here. We'll cover jet bikes a bit later. So what we'll do is move on to the Avatar of Khaine, which I think is now we're looking at a unit that's pretty nasty. So the Avatar, he is expensive. He's power 13, and he costs 250 points blast. He's pretty expensive if you want to put him in your army, but plunge him into the heart of the opponent's force and there's trouble. So Avatar of Khaine's movement 7, so he's gained an inch for movement, still slow enough. No, he might do alright. He's got battle focus here, so he can advance and charge. So no, he's pretty quick actually, and he can advance and shoot as well. So actually, his movement is really it's 7 plus d6 all the time, and still getting to shoot and charge. So actually, no, he's sped up a fair bit. Weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength and toughness 6, 8 wounds, and it gets better as we go along. 5 attacks, leadership 9, 3+ save. He's armed with the Wailing Doom, so it is shooting ability, range 12, so 2's to hit, range 12, assault 1, but strength 8, AP -4, and then d6, and then if you get to within half range, roll 2d6 for damage, choose the best. Then in melee, this is where he's a killer. In melee, he's +2 strength, so now he becomes strength 8. He's on AP -4 and then d6. Now this is why the combat's better, because it's d6 for each wound that comes through. So he's attacking on 5 dice. He's sitting on 2+, going to hit with all of them, if not 4. Then he's going to be on, say, freeze to wound, and then like multiple d6 points of damage coming through. Now he's got the potential to wreck vehicles or slay characters easily, bring them down. Roll 2 dice when inflicting damage with this weapon, discard the lowest. Oh, so he even gets that ability in combat. So, you know, say you've caused 2 wounds, 3 wounds, you roll 3d6 for your damage, and then you can re-roll any of those dice. Roll 2 dice, choose the best for each of those wounds coming through. So there's nice, reliable wound damage coming from him. So that's utterly horrendous. He's got Ancient Doom Battle Focus. Molten Body. Roll a d6 whenever Avatar of Khaine suffers a wound or mortal wound. On a 5+, it's ignored. So like a super feel no pain. And then he also has an invuln save of 5+ as well. So he's got a 3+ save, a 5+ invuln, and then 5+ to ignore everything that comes through as well. So he is tough. Khaine Awakened. Friendly Ashari units within 12 of the Avatar of Khaine do not take morale tests. So the Fearless Bubble's back. And you can re-roll fouled charge rolls as well. So he is a tough nut for sure. If I did, I'd go for the Forge World one. You'd have to, because he's that amount of wounds and he's big, deserves to have the bigger Forge World model, which does look so much better and so much more intimidating. But Avatar of Khaine is superb. But you pay the points for it. It's 250 points. Next, looking at Farseer. So many HQ options here for the Eldar. Farseer there, movement 7, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 2+, strength toughness 3, 5 wounds, 2 attacks, leadership 9, 6 up save. So they're armed with a shuriken pistol and the Witchblade. The Witchblade is strength of the user, AP 0, but it's D3 damage, and you always wound on a 2+. So your opponent is going to get their armor save, which is annoying, especially if they're 3 up or 2 up armor save. But other than that, they could cause a bit of trouble there. The Singing Spear is the same in melee, and Singing Spear in shooting, so you can throw the spear. It's range 12. It is strength 9 and 2s to wound and a D3 points of damage, so pretty good. You may replace the Witchblade with a Singing Spear. So Farseer is 106 points, and a Singing Spear will cost, the Witchblade is 7 points by the way, and then this Singing Spear, it's listed under ranged weapons, it's 14 points to the Singing Spear. Okay. So whether you pay that out or not, it's up to you. He's not too bad. He's got Rune Armor, he's got a 4+ invuln. Runes of the Farseer. Once in each psychic phase you can reroll any number of dice. Okay, similar to what we covered with Eldrad. And that's for manifesting or denying a psychic power. Ghost Helm, roll a d6 whenever you suffer mortal wounds, 5+, they're ignored. Okay, so all the usual reliability there for Eldar psychers. So I think the Singing Spear is okay. He's paying extra 14 points. That makes him 118 points, which isn't too bad for a character. And then he can attempt to manifest 2 psychic powers in each for any psychic phase, and attempt to deny 2 psychic powers in each enemy psychic phase. So okay, so pretty good for denying. It knows Smite and 2 psychic powers from the Runes of Fate. Okay, so we'll look up Runes of Fate. So regular Farseer, pretty good for psychic powers. Runes of Fate, covered that already. Okay, so Runes of Battle is the other one. So you got a Farseer Skyrunners, that's the jet bike version. Seems a fair bit more expensive. Yeah, 154 points to put him on the jet bike there, and then you've got to add on points for the Singing Spear if you take it. The rules are pretty much the same, apart from the rules for jet bike. Warlock Conclave is next, power 6. This contains 2 warlocks. You can include up to 8 additional warlocks, almost said warclocks. Power rating +3 per model. Each model is armed with a shuriken pistol and Witchblade. They are movement 7, 3+ for weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength toughness 3, 2 wounds each, 2 attacks each. Okay. Yep. Okay, and then 6+ save, leadership 8. You can take Singing Spear for them. They got the 4+ invuln. I'm just going to look up their cost here. So warlocks, points per model is 30. So 2 of them is 60 points. There's a rule here that says Destructor. When this unit manifests the Smite psychic power, it has a range of 9 rather than 18. Oh. In addition, if this unit consists of 1 to 3 models, when it manifests Smite, it only deals a single mortal wound. If it consists of 7 to 10, when it manifests Smite, it always deals out d6 mortal wounds. Okay, so you need a big mob of them to get d6. I can't see the point doing that because your d6 is so unreliable. So I wouldn't bother with that one. Psyker. If this unit has 1 to 3 models, it can attempt to manifest 1 psychic power and attempt to deny 1. If it has 4 to 6, it's 2. If it's 7 to 10, it's 3. This unit knows Smite power and 2 psychic powers from Runes of Battle. Okay, we'll cover that. If this unit has more than 1 model when manifesting or denying a psychic power, first select a model in the unit, measure range, visibility and so on from the model. If this unit suffers perils of the warp, it suffers d3 mortal wounds as described in the core rules, but units within 6 will only suffer damage if the perils of the warp causes the last model in the manifesting unit to be slain. Okay, that's that. So, Runes of Battle. Remember, you can randomise these or you can just choose. So note that Runes of Battle psychic powers have 2 names and 2 effects. Each effect counts as a different psychic power. So in matched play games, a Warlock Conclave that manifests Conceal could also manifest Reveal. So then the rules for these. So I'll be interested in these here. So Conceal Reveal, there's a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, choose one of the following. So Conceal, your opponent must subtract 1 from all hit rolls for ranged weapons that target the Psyker or friendly Asurmen infantry or bikers within 3 inches of the Psyker to your next psychic phase. So you cluster a number of units around him and it's -1 to hit all of those units. Pretty good. Or Reveal, choose an enemy unit of 18 of the Psyker. It does not gain any bonus for being in cover. Okay. Embolden or Horrify. It's a warp charge value of 6. You add 2 to the leadership characteristics of friendly units within 3 inches. Or Horrify, choose an enemy unit within 18. You subtract 1 for your leadership to the next psychic phase. Okay, a bit tame. Enhance and Drain. This is a warp charge of 7. If manifested, enhance is add 1 to hit rolls in the fight phase for friendly units within 3. Drain, choose a unit within 18. Your opponent must subtract 1 to hit rolls. Okay, pretty tame there for Runes of Battle. I like Runes of Fate, I think, a bit more. Same rules for Warlock. Don't need to cover that, it's all the same. You can buy an individual Warlock if you wish as an HQ choice. Warlock Skyrunner Conclave, just the units cost for bikers there. Warlock Skyrunner as an individual. You can take him if you wish. Then you've got Spirit Seers here. This is the last HQ option here. So Spirit Seer. 2 up, 2+ for weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength for toughness 3, 4 wounds actually, 2 attacks, leadership 8, 6+ save. He's armed with a shuriken pistol Witch Staff. The Witch Staff is strength user, AP 0, 2 for damage, and it always wounds on a 2+. He has the 4+ invuln, Ancient Doom, Battle Focus. Spirit Mark, you can reroll hit rolls of 1 for friendly Craftworld Spirit Host units attacks against enemy units within 6 of this model. Psyker, you can attempt to manifest 1 psychic power and attempt to deny 1. He knows Smite and 1 power from Runes of Battle. Okay, it's pretty tame actually. Regular Farseer or Eldrad, I think, is my favourite. So now we're on to troops here. When these are changed around a little bit, you'll see as we go along what are troops and what are no longer troops. Okay, so before I come to Guardian Defenders, this is the thing here. Windriders are not troops anymore. They're fast attack. So that means to get a battle-forged army here and to stick to one of the detachments, can't take the Windriders as troops anymore. So you're going to have to go, it's up now between back to So Rangers, Dire Avengers, Storm Guardians or Guardian Defenders. So my old army is definitely going to be changing for sure. So Guardian Defenders then, let's have a look to see what the options are. Movement 7 for these, weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+, strength toughness 3, 1 wind, 1 attack, leadership 7, 5+ save. You get the heavy weapons platform, which is just the same movement, weapon skill 6+, it's not very good fighting combat, 3+ though for shooting. It has 2 wounds and a 3+ save. This unit contains 10 Guardians. Guardian Defenders. They're 8 points a model, and the heavy weapon platform is 5 points. Okay, so unit of 10 is 80 points. So pretty cheap. Pretty cheap. This unit contains 10 Guardians. It can include an additional 10 for a power rating of +4. For every 10 Guardians in the unit, you may include 1 heavy weapons platform. Each Guardian is armed with a shuriken catapult and sunburst grenades. Heavy weapon platform is armed with a shuriken cannon. Shuriken cannon will cost 12 points. It's listed here actually, so we can cover this one. So shuriken cannon, then it's range 24, assault 3, strength 6, damage 1, and then it's AP -3. It's very similar to how it used to be. So it's a pretty reliable, pretty decent weapon for the Eldar. It's nice strength to it, and you're getting that nice bite if you're rolling 6s. So enough shots from that can cause trouble for vehicles, monstrous creatures, and regular infantry. So I do like the shuriken cannon. Sunburst grenades we've covered. Shuriken catapult then is assault 2, range 12, strength 4, damage 1, and then the usual shuriken roll there as well. So heavy weapons, which I should know off by heart here. We'll just check what the entry says at the front. The missile launcher, the Bright Lance, Scatter Laser, Shuriken Cannon, Star Cannon. So, Scatter Laser, it's range 36, heavy 4, strength 6, AP nothing, and then damage 1. So it's the same as it used to be. Pretty good weapon for chucking out shots. That will cost a Scatter Laser 15 points for that. Okay. The Star Cannon will cost 30 points, so severely more expensive. And then the Bright Lance will cost 20 points actually, so not too bad for that. And then the Eldari missile launcher is 50 points. It's very expensive. So I'll look these up under the Wraith Knight here because he can take these. So Scatter Laser, Shuriken Cannon, Star Cannon, then it's heavy 2, strength 6, AP -3, and then 3 points of damage. 3 points of damage, that's guaranteed. There's no randomness there. You cause your wound, it's 3 points of damage. It's a pretty nasty weapon actually. It's a fair amount of points, but it is a nasty weapon. And then the Bright Lance, strength 8. It's heavy 1, range 36, strength 8, AP -4, and D6 points of damage. So could be terrible, you roll a 1 for your damage, could be really good, you roll a 6. But pretty volatile is the word I think to describe the Bright Lance. You couldn't rely on one of them. You need multiple Bright Lances to average it out for it to be effective. To bring down an average vehicle, you're probably going to have to fire about 6 Bright Lances at it, I'm thinking. That's the kind of weapon you're going to need to reduce the vehicle right down by the time you've rolled up and statistically. So that's that. You could pay out for weapons batteries there if you wish. Crude weapon here. Ancient Doom battle focus for these. Crude weapon. A heavy weapons platform can only fire its ranged weapon if a guardian from its unit is within 3 inches and fires it instead of shooting any other weapon. A single guardian cannot operate multiple heavy weapon platforms in this way in a single turn. Okay, that's it. I'm not too fussed on them. I think they look nice, but I'm not sure. I do like the ones I paint up with the colour scheme of them, but I usually run more of an elite type Eldar army. So Storm Guardians is next. Here, they might be an option with their fusion guns. So same stat line as before. This unit contains 8 Guardians. Storm Guardians, they're 7 points each, so even cheaper actually. You can take up to 16 of them more. They're power rating free, by the way. Each model is armed with a shuriken pistol, an Eldari blade and some burst grenades. The Eldari blade is just nothing. You can reroll hit rolls for this weapon. Also, it's pretty reliable actually for hitting in combat. You're on 3+ to hit in combat and then you're rerolling to hit rolls with it. But they're only on 1 attack each, and when they charge there's no bonus for charging, so they're always on 1 attack. So pretty poor actually. Dreadful in combat. But they can fire pistols, so there's that option, but pretty tame. So your options: up to 2 Guardians may replace their shuriken pistol and Eldari blade with either a flamer or a fusion gun. So the flamer is range 8, it's assault d6, it's strength 4, AP nothing, and then damage 1. This weapon automatically hits its target. Next one is the fusion gun. Fusion gun is range 12, assault 1, strength 8, AP at -4, d6, and if you get to within half, you choose the best. So that's pretty good, 2 of those. But again, two dice needing 3s to hit. Probably going to miss with 1. So can't expect too much from this unit. Shuriken pistol, Eldari blade, chainsword. Each time the bearer fights, you can add additional attack with this weapon. Power swords there. Some burst grenade recovered. Up to 2 Guardians may replace the Eldari blades with power swords. Any Guardian may replace the Eldari blade with a chainsword. Okay. I just don't. I think they're too soft to spend points on. So, you know, if you want to do the minimum requirement, then maybe some Storm Guardian units. Yeah, but no. Crucially here, Windriders are fast attack. So a unit of 3 of them. A Windrider is 20 points each. So a unit of 3 of them is 60 points. So nice and cheap. But not troops now, crucially. Windrider, movement 16, nice and quick. Weapon skill 3, ballistic skill 3, or 3+. Strength 3, toughness 4, 2 wounds now. 1 attack, leadership 7, but it's dropped to a 4+ save. Which is realistic. People are saying it's realistic because it should be 1 point better in their armor save than a Guardian. So 4+ is actually more accurate. That's what people are saying. You can take include up to 3 additional Windriders. That's unit of 6, or up to 6 additional. So it's unit of 9. Each Eldari jetbike is equipped with twin shuriken catapult. Now the twin shuriken catapult is actually assault 4. So you could really lay down some pretty nasty shooting with these. The problem is you've got to get close, you've got to get within 12, then you can get assaulted in combat, so there's that danger with those. But for objective grabbing, that kind of thing, pretty good. Scatter laser then, we've covered that. I think they're 15 points each if you still want to go for that. So now a unit of 3 of them with scatter lasers will cost it's 105 points. Expensive enough. Time you start adding, yeah, they're 35 points each then with the scatter lasers. Now, any Eldari model jetbike may replace its twin shuriken catapult with either scatter laser or shuriken cannon. So the option's still there to make them into scatter bikes. The shuriken cannon then, assault 3. Now that's a cheaper option. Yeah, it's a cheaper option because the shuriken cannon is 12. We've covered this earlier. It's 12 points, isn't it? I think. Shuriken cannon. Yes, 12 points. I found that the games that I've played, or practice that we did, I found these are quite cool at grinding vehicles down. Because you know, tons of shots, and then every 6 you get is AP -3 off the AP, off the armor. So 3+ armor save vehicles, save's going to drop to a 6+, and you're going to knock that wound on because the strength's there. You know, even a toughness 8 vehicle, toughness 10 vehicle, it's 5s to wound, so pretty good. So I found that was quite a decent option. Yeah, because then you've got that balance between anti-infantry, anti-vehicle in there, decent armor save as well, you know, with that -3 for shuriken. So maybe catapult, shuriken cannon, Windrider jetbikes might be a good option. So that's that. But all very significant now because they're not troops anymore. So there's 2 other troops options here. So we've got rangers, movement 7, weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+, strength 3, toughness 3, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 7, 5 up save. 5 rangers will cost 20 points each. Ouch! It's 100 points for 5 of them. God, they are expensive. Okay. Might be handy at picking off characters though. You can take another 5 of them at 20 points each. They do come with the shuriken pistol and the ranger long rifle. The ranger long rifle is range 36, heavy one. What's quite cool with these now is you can move with heavy weapons, and it's only -1 to hit, so they're more flexible than they were. So rangers maybe have come on a fair bit here. That's quite crucial. You can relocate them, move them, and that makes them that much more better. You need 4s to hit if you moved. It's way better than 6s. The weapon may target a character even if it's not the closest enemy unit, so that can really disrupt things for your opponent. Usually those characters are safe, they can be picked on here by rangers. Each time you roll a wound of a 6, it inflicts a mortal wound in addition to any other damage. So nasty. A couple of units of 5, 3 units of 5 picking away could cause trouble. But again, I just think they're going to get targeted and blown away. Because they're not very tough, armor saves poor. Abilities, Ancient Doom, Battle Focus. Chameleon Cloaks. Your opponent must subtract 1 from there to hit rolls for attacks against this target. In addition, add 2 to saving throws made for models that are in cover. So that helps, that really helps. Appear unbidden. During deployment you can set up a unit of rangers walking the winding paths of the webway at the beginning of the first battle round, but before the first turn begins, the unit of rangers emerge from the webway. Set them up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models. Okay, so that's handy, tactically handy. So I think rangers are alright. Actually, they're pretty good. I do have 2 units of them on standby. Next is, but it'll take them a while to grind a character down, I think, but it's doable. But then again, I think your opponent's just going to hide the character behind something, and it's not going to play into your hands too easily. Dire Avengers. This is the more viable option for me, I think, but we'll see. Hoping they're quite good. Dire Avenger then, power 3. I think they're cheap enough. Dire Avenger, they're 10 points each. Okay, that's more like it. Movement 7, weapon skill and ballistic skill 3+, strength of 3, 1 wound, 1 attack, leadership 8, 4+ save. That unit contains 5 Dire Avengers, you can take up to 5 more. The Exarch can take the place of 1 Dire Avenger. Each model is armed with an Avenger, shuriken catapult, and sunburst grenades. Yeah, I've been looking through the back here. There's no points to pay for the Exarch upgrade. So I think, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you get the Exarch for free. Each model is armed with Avenger and catapult. A Dire Avenger Exarch can take the place of 1 Dire Avenger, and I've tried to find the points cost for him. He's not in here. So you just get the Exarch for free. It just means he gets 2 wounds instead of 1 and 2 attacks. And that's the bonus, it's just there. The war gear options then, I suppose you start to pay as you pay up for war gear here. The shuriken catapult, by the way, is range 18, 2 shots. The usual rules for shuriken, just there. Yeah, and again, pretty handy against vehicles because of that AP -3. If you get 6s, tons and tons of shots. It cause trouble for vehicles. Yeah, with the ability now to wound anything on a 6+, then yeah, But I mean, you're going to need 5s to wound a vehicle. If a vehicle's toughness 7, it's just 5s to wound them, and then 6s here with this extra ability. So of -3 for AP. So I mean, they got the ability just to grind a vehicle down, knocking off some hull points or wounds. Okay, so the Dire Avenger Exarch may replace their Avenger Shuriken Catapult with one of the following. So you can take 2 Avenger Shuriken Catapults. Let's see if I can find that. 7 points. So it comes. So I'm not sure how you pay for points here. The Dire Avenger Exarch may replace their Avenger Shuriken Catapult with one of the following: 2 Avenger Shuriken Catapults. No, can't see it. I don't know whether you have to pay for a Shuriken Catapult twice over, but you've already paid for it once in the points cost, so I don't know quite how that works. Shuriken Pistol and Power Glaive. So a Shuriken Pistol is here, it's 0, and the Power Glaive is in the melee section, is 4 points. It's cheap. Power Glaive is +1 strength and AP -2. So, but he's only on 2 attacks now. It's quite tame. You don't get any bonuses for weapons, no bonuses for charging. It's pretty wasteful giving them, paying out lots of points. But it's only 4 points. That's a cheap upgrade to take. A Shuriken Pistol and Dire Sword. Dire Sword is 4 points, cheap as well. Strength of the user, AP -2, and then each time you make a wound of a 6, the target suffers a mortal wound in addition to any other damage. So very tame, very tame here with these weapons. The Power Glaive is probably the best option. Okay, this is the model I like. A Shimmer Shield. Yeah, a Shimmer Shield and Power Glaive. This is interesting to see how much this costs. Shimmer Shield is 20 points. Okay, so you do have to, so it's 24 points with the glaive as well. So then you get his close combat ability, and then the Shimmer Shield gives a unit which includes a model has a 5+ invuln save. So the whole unit gets the 5+ invuln save, which is quite helpful, I think. You know, if it saved 2 models, then it's paid for itself. So that's your options just there. Ancient Doom, Battle Focus, Battle Fortune. The Dire Avenger Exarch has a 4+ invuln. Okay, so that's been kept. Defense Tactics. When this unit shoots Overwatch, it hits on 5+ regardless of any modifiers. Okay, so they just get that, and then the Shimmer Shield rules just there. So Dire Avengers are okay. They're nice and cheap, generally speaking. Well, they've pretty much stayed as they were, so they seem okay. So I love the colours for Dire Avengers. This may be you may see the return of them into our games for Eldar on the channel. It'd be nice. They're a nice, bright, colourful addition to the army. So I would say the best of the troop options are the Dire Avengers. Rangers are pretty cool, actually, as well. So those 2 options are pretty decent. Okay, on to elites then, the Aspect Warriors. A lot of people have been asking about these. Are they any good? So, Howling Banshees is what we're going to cover first. 12 points, which is pretty cheap actually. 12 points, unit 10 of them, 120 points. Movement 8, 3+ for ballistic skill, weapon skill, strength of toughness 3, 1 wound, 2 attacks as basic, leadership of 8 and a 4+ save. The unit contains 5 banshees. You can include up to 5 more. Howling Banshee Exarch can take the place of 1 Howling Banshee, and it's free of charge. Each model is armed with a Shuriken Pistol and Power Sword. Oh, so now I need to, the way this works now in 8th, I need to look up the cost here. So I know the pistol's free, and the Power Sword I think is 4 points. Yep, so actually they are 16 points a model. Okay, they're roughly the same as they used to be. Okay, so the power sword then is AP -3. So Banshees are strength 3. This is the problem. They're going to be poor at rolling up for wounding is the issue. A unit 10 of them charging in is just 20 attacks. There's no bonus for charging, no bonus for combat weapons. So effectively on the charge you've halved their close combat attacks. Yep. So I don't think they've improved. They can take on different targets. You know, the AP -3 stand a better chance of wounding Terminators and so on, but their number of attacks have dropped down severely, which is a shame. Then the Howling Banshee Exarch may replace a power sword with a Triskel or an Executioner. The Triskel here is can be shot with its range 12, assault 3, strength 3, AP -2. It's like a flying power sword. And then in melee, it's strength for the user, AP -2, damage 1. And that is here. Triskel is 9 points. Okay. And then an Executioner, just look up the points cost for it here, is 16 points. The Exarch, by the way, is 2 wounds and 3 attacks. And the Executioner is +2 strength, so you're in strength 5, AP -3, and the damage is D3. If you get multiple hits though, then it could be multiple D3 amounts of damage coming through, so it could be quite effective. When attacking with this weapon, you must subtract 1 from the hit roll, so you actually need 4s to hit in close combat with the Executioner. Howling Banshee Exarch may replace a Shuriken Pistol and Power Sword with Mirror Swords. The rules here: strength for the user, AP -2. You can reroll failed to hit rolls in the fight phase for this weapon. And Mirror Swords will cost 5 points. Right, it's just a bit more of a reliable Power Sword, basically. No, not even as good, it's -2. So I think Banshees are okay. The Banshee Mask, which we've covered, means you've got a fair chance of going first. Acrobatic, you add 3 to your rolls when this unit advances or charges. So it's advance or charge, not both, but that's a bit more reliability there. Bit of a stretch, and remember that's your movement 8. D6 run, and then +3 here, or you can save it for when you come to charge. War Shout, your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls in the fight phase for attacks that target unit that includes Howling Banshees. But they're pretty vulnerable. There's no invuln save for them. They're going to get hacked down pretty badly. The chance of them going first though is pretty good, so that helps them out a bit. But yeah, they're okay. They're alright. You can't write them off, and they're quite reasonable points. You know, so unit 10 of them decently equipped, just going to be less than 200 points. Right, so Striker Scorpions are going to pay particular interest to this one. So Striker Scorpion, same stat line as above, same stat line as Howling Banshees, except that their armor save is 3+. They've kept that heavy aspect armor. The Exarch here is 2 wounds and 3 attacks. The leadership is 8. 5 Striker Scorpions. They cost, this is the moment of truth, they're 17 points each, so they're a point more than the Banshees. Do you have to pay for, let's see what we got here. Does not include war gear, so here we go. It's armed with, each model is armed with a Shuriken Pistol, Scorpion Chainsword and Sunburst Grenades. Got a bit of a query here, but we'll keep going. So Shuriken Pistol I know is 3. The Scorpion Chainsword is 2 points. So now they're 19 points. Yeah, if I'm right here, they're 19 points then. So it's 190 points for, yeah, for 10 of them. Your Exarch I think you get for free. Okay, and then let's have a look here. So the Shuriken Pistol recovered. Scorpion Chainsword, it's just +1 strength, and that's it. So it's strength 4. There's no AP minuses for that. It's a shame. AP -1 would have made them wicked. Would have made them really good, but it's not to be. The war gear option is the Striker Scorpion Exarch may replace his Shuriken Pistol with a Scorpion's Claw. Scorpion's Claw, shooting, Assault 2, and the rules for Shuriken. It's range 12. And then the Claw is decent enough. Yeah, it's ×2 strength. You're on strength 6. It's AP -3. Pretty good D3 damage, but you're on -1 to hit. Just there. So you're on 4s to hit. Yeah, it's not as good as it used to be. I mean, I still think I'm going to take them from army, but it's not as good as it used to be. Sunburst Grenade just there. Scorpion's Claw, I wonder how much that is. It's in the shooting probably. 20 points, alright, so sensible enough points cost. So now looking at 210 points, which is what I used to pay for Scorpions. There's not really any change. The Exarch may replace a chainsaw with a biting blade. This is interesting. It's +2 strength. It's AP -1. It deals out 2 points of damage a time. The biting blade's pretty cool, actually. Yep, biting blade's not bad. And the biting blade will cost 12 points. That's still probably worth paying the 20 for the claw. Remember, it fights at normal. There's no initiative step now, so the claw. But the claw did that anyway in 7th, so no, it was way better in 7th edition. Then the Exarch may replace their Shuriken Pistol and Chainsword with Chain Sabers. Chain Sabers shooting is a pistol with 2 shots, strength 4, the usual rules, and then Chain Sabers melee +1 strength. Each time the bearer fights, you make 1 additional attack with this weapon, so it gives him +1 attack and +1 strength. Not worth it, I don't think. It costs over here 16 points. Whoa, no way. Okay. Let's see what bonuses Scorpions get. So Ancient Doom Battle Focus for them. Masters of Stealth. I've seen this rule already, so you can keep them off. It's like infiltrators. You can just deploy them anywhere as long as it's more than 9 inches away from enemy models. Shadow Strike. You add 1 to hit rolls for attacks for this unit. Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks for this unit that target unit in cover. I don't think cover counts in close combat, so I think it's just for shooting. So here on 2s to hit targets in cover, which is kind of weird, strange. And then Mandiblasters. At the beginning of each fight phase, roll a d6 for each model in this unit if it was within an inch of an enemy infantry unit. Ah, no. So no good against vehicles here. It's only infantry you can do this against. I wonder if... Let's just do a little check here. Let's show me a monstrous creature. A Wraithlord. Is he infantry? Nope. He is a monster. So Mandiblasters no good against monsters. Which is weird because the old painting, if you remember the old painting of a striking scorpion, he's being grabbed by a big Tyrannid monster. Could have been a Tyrannid warrior actually. But he's firing his Mandiblasters as that, but they're useless now against anything other than infantry. So roll a d6 for each model in this unit within an inch. On a roll of a 6, it suffers a mortal wound. If there's 2 or more infantry units, you have to choose who you're going to target. But yeah, pretty good. Mortal wounds are nasty. Chuck them in against Terminators or something. You're just knocking wounds off. But Scorpions have been tamed down here. Sustained attack. Each time you roll a 6 in close combat for the Striker Scorpion Exarch, that model can immediately make another close combat attack using the same weapon. These attacks cannot generate any additional attacks. Cool, so that's helpful with something like the claw. So Scorpions are okay, they're not bad, but they've been tamed, I think, to some degree. compared to what they were, but they're still definitely a viable unit. Nice 3+ save for them as well. No protection in cover, there's no bonus anymore, so a little bit more vulnerable. Fire Dragons is next. So, they're power 6. Fire Dragons. They're 7 points each, but then you've got to pay for your Fusion Blaster, or Fusion Gun, which is 17 points. Oh no. You're looking at 24 points each for these. Okay, but I think the Exarch being for free, it sort of starts to balance out, roughly turning out about the same amount in points, so it's not too bad. Fire Dragons then, movement 7, they get the 3+ armor save, it's the usual stat line. You can include up to 5 more of them, so you can max them out to unit 10. The Exarch can take the place. Okay, so they're all armed with fusion guns and melter bombs. Oh no, do you have to pay out for melter bombs as well? Oh dear. Melter bomb 0. Oh phew. Okay, so you have to pay extra for that. So that's that covered. Alright, so options then. The Exarch may replace their fusion gun with a Dragon's Breath Flamer or a Fire Pack. The Dragon's Breath Flamer is 17 points, but so is the fusion gun, so it's no problem. And then the Fire Pack is 22 points. You pay an extra 5 points for the Fire Pack, really, which is cheap. And for the Fire Pack, your range is increased, basically. So it's 5 points to increase your range to 18. Probably would still go for that. And then it's exactly the same as the fusion gun. Yep. Alright, so we'll see what bonuses they have. See, throwing a melter bomb is an option if you get close enough, because for that you get to reroll your wound rolls when targeting a vehicle. So if you come up against a vehicle with one of those shots, you can reroll your wound. But Exarchs, by the way, have lost their 2+ ballistic skill. That's gone. They're a freeze to hit as well. Ancient Doom Battle Focus, nice bit of speed for these to get nice and close to vehicles. Crack Shot, you can reroll hit rolls of 1 for a Fire Dragon's Exarch ranged weapons. Okay, so it makes them a bit more reliable. Assured Destruction, you can reroll wound rolls of 1 in the shooting phase for attacks this unit makes against monsters or vehicles. I really think if you're looking to take vehicles out now, a little unit of 5 isn't going to do it usually. You're looking now at increasing unit size to 8, I reckon, at least, if you're going to ambush and try and destroy vehicles before they get a chance to fire back at you. So it's going to take more effort, I think, to bring those kind of units down. But I could be overestimating it here. You get a couple of decent rolls. If you get to within close range, rolling 2 dice, choosing the best a couple of times over, and you're going to seriously hammer a vehicle. So the potential there is to pop a vehicle still with a unit 5 of those. You can still pop a vehicle, yeah, it's doable. Wraith Guard then is next. So the Wraith models are options I'm potentially thinking of. They're power 10 for unit 5. Wraith Guard, 23 points each, plus your points on top. Include 5 additional Wraith Guard. Each model is armed with a Wraith Cannon and Wraith Guard Fists. Right, so Wraith Guard Fists 0 here, and then a Wraith Cannon, 17 points. So really they work out at 40 points each. Yes. Yeah, 40 points each. Are they worth it? This is going to be interesting. Cool, yeah, okay, right, so 40 points each, so yeah, 200 points, isn't it? Yeah, 200 points for unit 5. Now, stats then for these: movement 5, weapon skill 3, ballistic skill for a 3+, strength 5, toughness 5, 3 wounds, not 1 wound anymore, but 3 wounds. It's a big improvement for these. Leadership 9 and 3 plus save. So the D-Scythe weapon here, entire unit may replace their Wraith cannons with D-Scythes. D-Scythes will cost here 22 points as opposed to 17. You pay an extra 5 points for D-Scythes. D-Scythes then is range 8, assault D3, so potential of anywhere, unit 5 then potential of anywhere between 5 to 15 shots. Strength 10, AP -4, damage 1. When a unit fires its D-Scythes, roll once for the number of attacks and use this for all D-Scythes fired by the unit in this phase. This weapon automatically hits its target, so nasty enough. Yeah, nasty enough. Kill 3 wounds each, they're going to be tough to get through. Okay. It looks like these guys can defend themselves in combat here as well. There's no invuln save for these, but instant death's gone, and then 3 wounds now, so it makes them way more durable than they used to be. It's okay, so that's D-Scythes, not too bad at all. Automatically hitting their targets, nasty. But only 1 point of damage. The Wraith cannon is range 12, is strength 10, AP -4, and then D6 points of damage. But the D-Scythe is pretty good. Okay. Right. Okay. Wraith Guard Fists. So melee, strength of the user, strength 5, AP -1 off your opponent, and then D3 points of damage if you break through the armour. So that's pretty good. So they're alright. Ancient Doom, Implacable. This unit can fall back and still shoot in the turn that it does so. Cool. So you get charged in combat. You don't want to be in combat. You can pull out, shoot. Pretty good actually. Yeah, there's a tempting option just there. 200 points. Wraith Blades next. The power 10, it's going to be about the same points costs. Wraith Blades, 29 points, they are more expensive. This unit contains 5 Wraith Blades, and you can include up to 5 more. These guys come with 2 attacks, though they are better than the Wraith Guard. Stat line everywhere else is the same. So that's why you're paying a bit more for them, they're getting 2 attacks. So, it's pretty good. The entire unit may replace their Ghost Swords with Ghost Axes and Force Shields, right. So Ghost Swords then is 6 points. Okay, and the Ghost Glaive, or Ghost Axe, sorry, is 15. And the Force Shield is 8. Oh, so you're paying out a fair bit for these. They're expensive if you're going to go for that option. Okay. So Ghost Axe then is +2 strength, so they're on strength 7. Nice. AP -3, D3 damage as well. When attacking with this weapon you must subtract 1 to the hit, so you are actually going to be on 4s to hit though. The Ghost Swords are +1 strength, so you're on strength 6, AP -2, and then 1 point of damage. Each time the bearer fights you make an additional attack as well, so that bumps them up to 3 attacks each. So Ghost Swords are pretty cool. Then you've got Ancient Doom, Fires of Wrath, add 1 to the attacks characteristics of models in this unit in the turn in which it charges. Cool, so now unit of 5 on the charge with Ghost Swords is on 20 attacks at AP -2. Nice. A model equipped with a Force Shield has the 4+ invuln save, bit of protection there for them. Okay, I still like these, and the ability they can fight back quite nicely in combat. AP -1 helps a bit, and D3 damage is pretty nasty actually. So I think Wraith Guard are pretty cool. Right, so onto the transport here. This is interesting, the Wave Serpent. So, famous for being rock solid, it will cost here a Wave Serpent 107 points before we upgrade, so it's not too bad actually. 6+ to hit in close combat, ballistic skill, it's all covered in this chart over here. Strength 6, toughness 7, 13 wounds, it's pretty good. Leadership 8 and a 3+ save. The Wave Serpent is armed with a single twin-link shuriken cannon and twin shuriken catapult. So just check these costs here for the war gear. So twin shuriken catapult does cost 10 points, you have to add that on, it's a bit annoying. And then also the twin shuriken cannon. Is 24 points as well, so you're starting to pay out a fair amount of points here. So you're looking at about 130, 140 points. But a twin shuriken cannon, this is the cool thing, is 6 shots. Assault 6, strength 6, and you've got your AP minus there for the shuriken roll. Okay. This model may replace its twin shuriken cannon with a bright lance, twin scatter laser, or a twin star cannon, or Eldari missile launcher. Okay. So the Eldari missile launcher, the sunburst missile, is when attacking this weapon you choose one of the profiles. So range 48 for both of these types. Heavy 2d6 here for sunburst missile. Strength 4, AP minus 1 and 1 point of damage. Pretty nasty for clearing infantry away. Heavy 2d6, that's a lot of shots potentially. Then a Starshot missile is heavy 2, so you get 2 shots of it. Strength 8, AP minus 2, and d6 points of damage. Ouch. God, so I mean, this is deadly here because, you know, if you hit with 2 hits and you wound, and your opponent fails his saves, all of a sudden you could roll 2d6 points of damage. It's a wicked weapon, that one. Pretty nasty. Now, you have a couple of Wave Serpents armed with that. It's pretty good, and it's an all-rounder. You've got your anti-infantry ability, just as good as the other anti-infantry weapons, but you've got your anti-tank ability big time with that as well. So the missile launcher's a cool weapon. But I reckon it's going to cost a bit. 50 points. 50 points. But then look here, Bright Lance, twin Bright Lance is 40 points, twin Scatter Laser is 30 points. May well be, even the Shuriken Cannon is 24 points. So, you know, you may be worth paying out the extra for that decent kit. Missile Launcher's the one to go for, I think. The twin Bright Lance sends range 36, heavy 2, strength 8, AP minus 4, and then d6 points of damage. Again, that's deadly enough, but there's no anti-infantry ability with that. The twin Scatter Laser is 8 shots, strength 6, AP minus AP 0, 1 point damage, and the twin Shuriken Cannon we've just covered. Alright, so you can the weaponry on top of one of these things can be pretty nasty. You pay a premium for it, but pretty nasty. And with the durability, I'm thinking of vehicles, I think the Wave Serpent's a decent turret, decent gun platform, as well as a transport. Remaining wounds then, so usually it's movement 16, ballistic skill of 3+, and 3 attacks in combat. Then it gradually drops down to 12 inches, 8 inches, and BS drops by 1 in each bracket there as well to 4, and then a 5+. War gear options, we've covered that. You can take vehicle equipment list. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm just checking. Mistake here on my part. just seeing the layout of the book. So vehicle equipment list, I was wondering where it was. When you come to the back here, after here, I was wondering where there was a summary of all of the rules. It is here, look. All the shooting weapons, ranged weapons are listed here. So that is all there. And then melee weapons are all listed here. And then here is your vehicle equipment, all listed here as well. So there's your reference. I wish they'd moved that and just put it right behind the Eldar unit entries, but they put it here at the appendix section. So this is going to be interesting here. Vehicle equipment. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Yeah, so I'm going to use here for our points costs, and then here for what it does. So the first thing is a crystal targeting matrix, which will cost you 5 points, very cheap. A model with crystal targeting matrix does not suffer the penalty for firing a heavy weapon after moving when targeting the closest enemy unit. Right, so you may well want that if the vehicles don't usually ignore that rule. But I think they're alright because the Wave Serpents come with fly ability, and I don't think they suffer that penalty, but I need to check the rules for that. But that's that option. Spirit Stones. Roll a d6 each time model with Spirit Stones suffers an unsaved or mortal wound. On a 6, the wound is ignored. That's quite helpful. I mean, on a 13 wound model, you're going to pass that a couple of times. That costs 10 points. Cheap enough. Star Engines. When a model with Star Engines advances, add 2d6 to the model's move instead of d6. Probably won't bother with that. 10 points for that one. Vectored Engines. If a model with Vectored Engines advances, your opponent must subtract 1 from all hit rolls for ranged weapons that target it until the next movement phase. And that costs 10 points as well. It's a bit of Eldar trickery there just to add to reliability. Bit of protection there for the Wave Serpent. If you're going to use it to bomb straight at the opponent, Vectored Engines will give you a bit more protection from shooting coming in. And Spirit Stones is going to give you a bit more protection as well. So you can build up those upgrades if you really want to protect that Wave Serpent. You could easily end up spending 200 points on it if you really kit it out with all of the upgrades. I like the missiles. But as to whether that's an option or not, it all depends on the points, what we can squeeze into the army. But that's the Wave Serpent vehicle upgrade or vehicle equipment covered. Serpent Shield then. Any damage suffered by a Wave Serpent from a ranged weapon is reduced by 1. So if it's damage 2, it drops to 1. To a minimum of 1. In addition, once per battle, Wave Serpent can disengage or discharge its Serpent Shield. If it does so, roll d6. On a 2+, the nearest visible enemy unit within 24 suffers d3 mortal wounds. Wave Serpent then gains no benefit from this ability for the remainder of the battle. That's it. So, it's alright. D3 mortal wounds on a 2+ is okay. Kill a couple of models, deal out a couple of wounds on a vehicle. Not utterly devastating though. Explodes, that's your usual result for vehicles. If the model is reduced to 0 wounds, roll d6 before moving from play. On a 6 it explodes. All units within 6 inches suffer d3 mortal wounds. Hover Tank. Distance and range is always measured to and from the model's hull, even if it has a base. So that is it. Your transport options can transport 12 Phoenix Lords, infantry models, other than jump pack models. Wraith Guard and Wraith Blades count as 2 models each. Okay, so you can put Wraith Blades or Wraith Guard inside one of these things. So Swooping Orcs, power 5. They cost 10 points each. Movement 14, this is their jump, nice and quick with these. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+. Just the usual stat line, 4 up armor save. Usual stat line for the Exarch. You can add an extra 5 to the unit. Each model is armed with a las blaster. See if you have to pay for that. It's a funny old system they've got for this here. Yeah, you'd have to pay it 7 points for las blaster. So there's 17 points a model now. Las Blaster is rapid fire 2. I take it that means that within half the range you actually get to fire 4 shots, and it's range 24. Strength 3, damage 1, no bonuses. So nice saturation fire from them, but a pretty tame weapon. The Swooping Orc Exarch may replace their Las Blaster with a Hawk's Talon or Sun Rifle. So the Hawk's Talon is 10 points as opposed to 7. It's Assault 4, it's Strength 5. There's no AP minus there, and it's damage 1. That's okay. Then the Sun Rifle is Assault 4, Strength 3, AP minus 2, and then damage 1. If your unit suffers an unsaved wound from this weapon, your opponent must subtract 1 from their hit rolls until the end of the turn. Right, they've been bedazzled by the brightness of that weapon. And the Sun Rifle will cost here 11 points. I just think Swooping Hawks are tame. You know, they're not the best protected. They're lovely models, not the best protected. Their shooting ability, I don't think, is that amazing. and so I don't usually take them, and they don't seem to have improved here. Let's just see what else you can do. Superhawk Exarch may take a power sword. I think that's 4 points. Ancient Doom Battle Focus. They are very quick though. Herald of Victory. You can add one to the leadership of friendly Craftworld units within 3 inches of any unit, includes a unit of Swooping Hawks. Okay. Swooping Hawk Grenade Pack. Swooping Hawks. You can easily forget that rule in the game though. Swooping Hawk Grenade Pack. You can fire a spread of grenades. We've covered that already with Baharroth. Children of Baharroth. You hold them off and then you can deploy anywhere on the battlefield as long as it's 9 inches, more than 9 inches away from any models. Covered that already. Skyleap, we've covered that as well with Baharroth. Yeah, don't rate Swooping Hawks that much, and they're expensive enough actually for them. You know, fully kitted out, you're looking at about 200 points for 10 of them. Okay, so next is Warp Spiders. I've got a terrible feeling they're not going to be as good. I use them to ambush the rear of vehicles, side of rear armour, and just hit them with loads of strength 6 shots, and it's usually enough just to bring the vehicle down, take out predators, vindicators, rhinos, and then just leap away and cause trouble. That ambush ability, but that ability to ambush seems to have been decreased in 8th. It's more of a grinding process. As to whether Warp Spiders are able to cope with that or not, we'll have to see, but their movement's 7. A Warp Spider now is 14 points each. They're 3+, their weapon skill, ballistic skill, just the usual stat line, leadership of 8, 3+ armor save they keep. Usual for the Exarch. You can take 5 more of them on top of a unit of 5. The Exarch can replace one of the spiders, and then Death Spinner. Death Spinner is 8 points. So 8 points, actually on 22 points a model, so low, about 110 odd points for unit 5 of them. It's about the same as it used to be, and that includes your Exarch. Death Spinner, then Assault 2, Strength 6, and then each roll of a 6 to wound is AP -4. So they're not going to take a vehicle out now with ambush. They're going to knock some hull points off if they get 6s. Going to cause trouble for infantry, but small unit of 5 is not going to have the impact they used to. The Warp Exarch may replace their Death Spinner with either 2 Death Spinners. Alright, so now he gets the 4 shots. You're paying for the Death Spinner twice though, I believe, but he'll get the 4 shots. He's not BS in 2+ to hit though, it's 3+. The Spinneret Rifle is the other option. The Spinneret Rifle is 12 points, and that is range 18, rapid fire 1, so if you get close enough you get 2 shots, strength 6, AP -4 and 1 point of damage, but horrendously poor shooting rate of fire. Power Blades is strength for the user, AP -2. Each time he fights, he can make an additional attack with this weapon. Okay, but probably not worth taking that. Power Blades will cost just 4 points. It might be worth taking it. It's cheap enough. For 4 points, to give yourself a bit of close combat ability. Yeah, but still you're only at strength 3 though, so pretty tame. Ancient Doom Battle Focus. So Warp Jump Generator. Remember their movement's usually 7. Warp Jump Generator. When this unit moves in the movement phase, they can do so normally or using their Warp Jump Generators. If they use their Warp Jump Generators, they cannot advance or charge, but their movement characteristic is increased by +4d6, and they can fly. Alright, so nice bit of speed from them. Flicker Jump has been kept here. When a unit with this ability is targeted by a ranged weapon, you can declare they will make a Flicker Jump. If they do so, your opponent must subtract 1 from to hit rolls for attacks that target this unit until the end of the phase. However, you must immediately roll 2d6. On a 2, 1 model in the unit of Warp Spiders is slain. -1 to hit. Oh no. Warp Spiders have been toned down here quite severely. Their shooting ability, their ambush ability is gone, and they're vulnerable now. And yeah, So, oh dear. Okay. Iron Resolve, a unit that contains a unit of warp spiders, or contains a warp spider Exarch, can reroll failed morale tests. Okay. But yeah, not quite so good as these. They're okay, but your little unit of 5's not going to have the same impact it used to. Okay, so next one, Shining Spears. Power 7. Shining Spears at 24 points each. Movement 16 is your jet bike here. So usual 3+, toughness 4. 2 wounds though for these. 2 attacks, leadership 8, 3+ save. You can take a unit 3. You can take up to 3 more, or an additional 6. The Exarch replaces him, you get him for free. Each model is armed with a laser lance, and each of their jet bikes is armed with twin shuriken catapults. Okay, so let's look up the laser lance here. Okay, so laser lance. So melee weapon, strength of the user, it's a shame. AP -4, that's nasty, and damage of 2. Pretty good. If the bearer charged this turn, attacks with this weapon are made at strength 6. Okay, pretty cool. Yeah. Now he comes with fly ability here, which I believe fly units can pull out of combat and charge back in again. May not be able to do that. It may just be that you're allowed to shoot. To check that one, but they're all right. But maybe it's just the same problem with Shining Spears as they used to be. And that's just getting caught out when they're not charging. You only get that bonus when you charge. So sort of a shock unit. Yeah. That's laser lance. Okay. You may replace their laser lance. The Shining Spear Exarch may replace it with a Star Lance or a Paragon Blade. Okay, so Paragon Blade is probably like the Power Sword. It's AP -4. And you can reroll fouled, hit, and wound rolls. It's quite nasty, that one actually. Yep, no bonus to your strength though. Paragon Blade is 12 points. Laser Lance is range 9 points. And then the Star Lance is 12 points. Alright, okay. It's only a bit extra for the Star Lance. Laser Lance for shooting, by the way. Ouch. It's actually really good. Range 6. And you better close that range pretty quick, because remember your movement is 16. Assault 1. Strength 6, AP -4, and then 2 points of damage. Nice reliable damage coming through from that. It's pretty nasty against vehicles, actually. These look like they could be pretty good against vehicles. The Star Lance is strength 8, AP -4, and 2 points of damage. And in combat it's the same as well. Yeah, I mean the turn which you the turn in which you charge at strength 8. Yeah, Shining Spears are actually pretty good at hunting vehicles. I could see them really knocking up some damage here, because it's multiple attacks, and then all damage that's done by the close combat weapons here, the lances at least, is 2 points of damage a time coming through, and your armor save of -4. So 3+ armor save vehicles are not even going to get a save. Pretty good. Yeah, nasty. And if you can find out another unit to help them reroll their wounds or reroll their hits, like a Farseer, it can become real nasty. So this is a unit to keep an eye on here. And they're 2 wounds now as well. Unit 5, a bit of durability with these, and 3+ armor save. Let's see what else they get. They do get battle focus. That makes them even quicker. And they can shoot with that. These are looking pretty good. Ride the Wind. When this unit advances, add 6 to its movement characteristic for the movement phase instead of rolling a dice. That's even more reliable. Oh, look at this. Acrobatic Grace. Models in this unit have a 4+ invuln save against ranged attacks. Wow. And then Expert Hunter, you can reroll wound rolls for a Shining Spear Exarch if they target a monster or a vehicle. Wow, so Shining Spears, which I have a unit of these painted up in bright orange colours. They may well be a very viable option. These look like they're really good. Even I reckon even worth expanding them out to a unit of say 6, 7 or 8 of them in total, because they're pretty good. Pretty good. Right, next then is the Crimson Hunter, the Flyer, power 9, 143 points. Isn't too bad. So strength and toughness 6 here, 12 wounds, 3 attacks, leadership 8, 3+ save. So 3+ saves, not bad. Because remember they're armor 10 previously, so a bit weak. But here they're tough enough. It comes with 2 bright lances and a pulse laser. So look up the pulse laser. Yeah, so it's range 48, heavy 2, strength 8, AP -3, and then the damage is 3 points. Guaranteed, not D3. So nice, solid reliability with that. Pretty good. And then remember you've got your Bright Lance as well. That's D6 points of damage with that one. But the Pulse Laser is a nice weapon. Nice enough. If you've got a hit, you've got a wound with it against vehicles. So it's listed there. The Wings of Khaine. Okay, it's just looking up points costs here. Pulse Laser's at 0 for some reason. Then you've got your Bright Lance 20, so 163 points you're looking at here. 163 points. Okay. Wings of Khaine. Let's see what extra bonuses you get here. Their movement, by the way, is up to 60. A full. Oh. This is interesting. This is a standard Crimson Hunter. He's on Ballistic Shield 2+ when he's at normal wounds. That's pretty good. So standard Crimson Hunter is pretty good. The Wings of Khaine. When this model advances, add 20 to its move characteristic for that movement phase instead of rolling a dice. Each time this model moves, first pivot it on the spot up to 90 degrees. This does not contribute to how far the model moves. And then move the model straight forwards. Once this move has been finished, you can then pivot another 90. Okay, so that nice, lovely flexibility with that. Airborne. But I can't see the point in this and worrying about this too much, because you don't need to be facing the direction you're going to shoot anymore, I believe. It's just model line of sight, not weapon line of sight. But anyway, that's your ability that you've got there. Airborne. This unit cannot charge. It can only be charged by units that can fly, and can only attack or be attacked in the fight phase by units that can fly. Hard to hit. Your opponent must subtract 1 to hit rolls against this target in the shooting phase. And Sky Hunters, you can re-roll all failed wound rolls for this model's ranged weapons that target units that can fly. Alright, so it's for taking out enemy flyers. Crash and burn. That's your result if you crash. Okay, so Crimson Hunter standard is not bad. It's interesting to see what extra you get for the Exarch. It's all the same wounds here. Stat line's the same. Okay. It will cost you 183 points, so an extra 40 points for the Exarch. See if it's worth it. Wings of Khaine's the same, Airborne's the same, hard to hit. Sky Hunter's the same. Marksman's Eye, you can re-roll hit rolls of 1 for the ranged weapons. That is it. This one you do have the option of taking 2 star cannons to replace the 2 bright lances. Let's have a look here. Star cannons will cost 30 points. Ouch. I would go for a standard Crimson Hunter with Ballistic Shield 2+ anyway. You're getting the bonuses mostly, so standard Crimson Hunter, save yourself some points, still do the job. Can't see much point in paying out an extra 40 points just to reroll once. And to get access to taking star cannons, which you have to pay an extra 30 points for anyway. Then you're paying for the Bright Lance, it sort of offsets, I think. So, okay, but no, I reckon Crimson Hunter's standard is a pretty good option. Okay, so Vipers next. I think Vipers have toughened up here significantly. So, 1 Viper, movement 16, nice and quick, keep up with your jet bikes. Weapon skill 6+, ballistic skill 3+, strength 4, toughness 5, 6 wounds, and a save of a 3+. You can make them squadrons, so you can add an extra additional 2 Vipers plus 4 power points each. They're armed with shuriken cannons and twin shuriken catapults. So, twin shuriken catapults, but a nice bit of anti-infantry ability there. And remember those 6 to wound, granting that AP -3 as well, so handy for chipping off vehicles. Model armed with a shuriken cannon. Let's just see what this costs. So a Viper is 64 points. Oh dear, you're going to pay up for these, because then you've got to pay for twin catapults, so you're going to add 10 points onto that. That's 74 points now for a Viper, and then a shuriken cannon is 12 points as well, 74, 76, 86 points. Expensive enough. We know the rules for the weapons. War gear options. Any model may replace its shuriken cannon with heavy weapons. We've seen their costs earlier on. Okay, and then any model may replace its shuriken catapult with a shuriken cannon. So you can add the cannon underneath as well. Okay, so they're quite expensive, but you can kit them out pretty good. And I think they're a bit more reliable, a bit more durable for sure than they used to be. Blade Wind, this unit has a move characteristic of 20 instead of 16 if it contains 3 models. Okay, it's a little bit of incentive to getting a squadron of 3 of them. So there's no Invuln, there's no Jink, so it's just their wounds and save to protect them. The Hemlock Wraith Fighter, same stat line as over here. Ballistic skill is only a 3+ though for him. It's got the heavy D scythes weapons. Interesting. Let's see how much he is. A Hemlock Wraith Fighter is 211 points. Ouch. Heavy D sub 0. Alright, so that's they've included it in the points cost, but 200 points for this guy. Let's have a look. Assault D3. This weapon automatically hits its target. Strength 10, AP -4, and damage 2. Not that great. Really, I mean, D3 shots mean freeze to hit. You get 1 or 2 hits. And it's strength 10, AP -4, and then just deals out 2 points of damage. We'll just keep reading here. Wings of Khaine, airborne, hard to hit. Mind Shock Pod. Enemy units within 12 of the Hemlock Wraith Fighter subtract 1 from their leadership. Spirit Stones. I've covered that. Crash and Burn. No, there's something seriously wrong with this. 2 heavy D-subs. Alright, so you do get 2 of them. So it's 2 D3 shots. So you're averaging going to be, what, 4 shots? 1 or 2 is going to miss. Not very good at all. No, I don't think the Hemlock Wraith Fighter is very good. No, I would say Crimson Hunter's the best out of the flyers. Alright, so Dark Reapers next. 5 points each. Yeah, then you've obviously got to pay for your weapon. The Reaper Launcher will cost 31 points. You'll get 36 points a model. Just do think they get picked on and targeted though. I've seen it done time and time again. So usual stat line for these, you get the 3 up armor save. The point you start off with 3 of them, you can go all the way up to 10 of them. You get your Exarch. He's just got the extra wound and attack for him. So the Eldari Missile Launcher. When attacking with this weapon, no, that's the Eldari Missile Launcher. So you can equip them with Dark Reaper Exarch may replace the Reaper Launcher with a Shuriken Cannon, Eldari Missile Launcher, or Tempest Launcher. Okay. So we've seen that one. you've got the Sunburst, the heavy D6, strength 4, AP -1, or you've got the Starshot missile option, heavy 1, strength 8, -2 to the AP, and then D6. Or the Reaper launcher. Oh, this, whoa. Reaper launcher's awesome. Here, look, Starshot missiles, so you can choose your profile. So you can fire Starshot, range 48, heavy 1, strength 8, AP -2, and then damage is 3. So they're vehicle killers, monster killers, character killers, yeah. Star Swarm missile, heavy 2, strength 5, AP -2, and 2 points of damage. Very, very nasty. Remember now, these guys, they can move with their heavy weapons and then suffer just -1 to their ballistic skill. So, pretty good. The Reaper launcher is nasty. Really is good. Shuriken cannon, Tempest launcher. This is interesting. Range 48, by the way. It's a nice range. Tempest launcher, range 36. Heavy 2d6. Strength 4, AP -2. This weapon can target units that are not visible to the bearer. Okay, that's alright. But I would stick with standard weaponry for them. Yep. But you pay out in points for their 36 points each. But pretty good. Ancient Doom, Crack Shot. You can reroll hit rolls of 1 for the Reapers, the Exarch's ranged weapon. And then Escapable Accuracy. Models in this unit always hit on a 3+ when firing a ranged weapon, regardless of any modifiers. Although they still hit on a 6 when firing Overwatch. So even if you move, still freeze to hit. All of a sudden, you've got a mobile. All of a sudden, you have got a mobile deadly unit here. They don't come with battle focus though. But you've got a mobile unit here, and their movement is 6. It's not bad. Quite well protected. Bit vulnerable. Still always vulnerable to shooting. It's gonna hurt every time you lose a model. It's 36 points a time. But they're pretty good. You can hide them behind something, bring them out and shoot. Even freeze to hit as normal. So yeah, they're pretty good. I think they're better than they used to be, and their weaponry here is deadly. So next is Vals are off support battery. It's movement 6, 3+ for weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength 3, toughness 5 though, 4 wounds, 2 attacks, 4+ save. The unit contains 1 support weapon and 2 crew, 1 manning the weapon, 1 standing alongside. You include up to 2 additional support weapons in their crews. You can go squadron with them. Okay. So, D cannon is heavy D3, it's range 24. Strength 10, AP -4, and D6 points of damage. Pretty nasty. Shadow Weaver, range 48, heavy D6. Strength 6 and 1 point of damage, no AP minus. Each time you make a wound roll of a 6 for this weapon, it's resolved at AP -4. This weapon can target units that are not visible to the bearer. The Shuriken catapults. Okay. Yep. And then the Vibro cannon, range 48, strength 7, it's heavy 1, strength 7, AP -1, D3 points of damage. For each Vibro cannon that has already been fired at the same target in this phase, improve the AP of this weapon by 1 to a maximum of -3. Add 1 to the wound rolls for this weapon to a maximum of +2. For example, if a firing model is the third to target the same unit with a Vibro cannon, its AP is -3, and you add 2 to its wound rolls. Okay. That's it. Support battery. You've got to keep moving 3 inches of each other. Guardian crew. Treated as a single unit. Okay. So the costs then. It's 77 points for the platform. Ouch. And then you've got to pay out for D cannon. You've got to pay another 50 points. Oh dear me. And then the Shadow Weaver is, you got to pay 21 points. And then the Vibro cannon, which does sound quite cool, will cost 20 points each as well. So look at about 300 points for a fully equipped battery here. 250, 300 points if you max it out. That's really expensive. So I think they're very expensive for what you get. Next is the Falcon. I've had my eye on this model. I love the look of it. We'll see if it's any good here. So all the usual. It's 12 wounds, toughness 7, strength 6, 3+ save. It's all pretty good. A Falcon is a single model equipped with a pulse laser, shuriken cannon, twin shuriken catapult. So you do have to pay the 10 points to the twin shuriken catapult. The shuriken cannon is 12 points, I believe. Yes. And then the pulse laser is what we're interested in. If it was nothing, 0. So that makes things interesting. You've got to add 22 points then to the Falcon, which costs 174 points. So you get 200 points for this. That's crazy points cost. That's a lot of points. And not as well protected as Wave Serpents. I think Wave Serpents are the way to go. It's very, very expensive. There's no special abilities here. You can take heavy weapons. You can swap the twin shuriken catapult for shuriken cannon, which I would go for that, and then vehicle equipment. No, that's very expensive. You can transport up to 6 jump pack Wraith blades. Other than jump pack, yeah, Wraith Guard, Wraith blades count as 2 models each. No, not so keen. Points cost is horrendous for him, which is a shame. Fire Prism next is same stat line. Yep, Fire Prism. So he will cost you 158 points, and then Prism Cannon is 0. Okay, so straight 158. That's a bit better. No transport capacity though. You can swap the shuriken catapult for shuriken cannon. You have got access to vehicle equipment. So the Prism Cannon. So you can fire. You choose which profile you want. Dispersed this is range 60 for all of these, so brilliant range. Heavy D6. Strength 6, AP -3, and 1 point for damage. Focused is heavy D3, strength 9, AP -4, and then D3 points of damage. Pretty nasty. Right then, the Lance, range 60, heavy 1, strength 12, so you can get over strength 10 now. AP -5, and then D6 points of damage, so pretty nasty ability. Look at that, D6. It's very, very unreliable. Very, very random. Shuriken cannon, and then twin shuriken catapults, but exceptionally unreliable. That I would see the focused as more reliable. It is strength 9, AP4, D3, but look, there's heavy D3, so there's potential of multiple D3 points of damage coming through. But that's just a one-shot hit and miss there with the Lance. Just there. Abilities: Hover Tank, Explodes. Okay, so that's the Fire Prism. It's not too bad as an option, but again, you're not looking to take out a vehicle with one shot anymore. It's all gone. It's a grinding process, an exchange of firepower that needs to take place. The Fire Prism is pretty well equipped. Next one's the Night Spinner. That is 155, it's about the same. It's armed with a Doom Weaver. See if you have to pay out for that. You do not, it's 0, so it's just straight points cost there. Usual stat line, and you can fire the Doom Weaver then. It's range 48, it's heavy 2d6, strength 7, damage is 2. For each wound of a 6, it's resolved to AP -4. This weapon can target units that are not visible to the bearer. Not bad, it's not a bad weapon. And that's all the rules for that, but that's okay. Heavy 2d6, strength 7, leading 6s. Yeah, it's alright. I wouldn't say it's devastating. Next one's Warwalkers. Interesting to see how cheap these are. Warwalkers. There's 61 points each, plus you've got to add your weapons on top, so these could end up being very expensive here. The movement 10, so nice and quick now. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 3+, strength 5, toughness 6, 6 wounds, 4 up save, not 3+, 2 attacks in combat. Shuriken cannon, the rules just there. Any model replaces shuriken cannon with the heavy weapons. Alright, so you just take heavy weapons options just there. So you're looking at about 20. Oh, it's 2. So you can go with 2 bright lances, 2 shuriken cannons, 2 scatter lasers. You can end up looking at about, with that added on top, 90 odd points. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, yeah, that kind of range for those. They do have a power field, 5+ invuln. They do have Ancient Doom. They do have Battle Focus. And it's a scout vehicle. At the start of the first battle round, but before the first turn begins, you can move this model up to 12 in any direction, provided it does not end up its move within 9 inches of enemy models. Okay, so it's got a scout move there. All walkers seem okay. You could give them a pretty good configuration. Yeah, pretty nasty. Take a unit of 3 of them, give them all bright lances. Bit expensive enough, but you've got a bit of, yeah, no, pretty good. That's them. Okay, so we're on to the Wraithlord and the Wraith Knight here, the last 2 entries in the Codex. Wraithlord, I have 2 of these in my 7th edition list. Let's have a look here. So, a Wraithlord, let's have a look at the points cost. It's 103 points, as he is. So, because he's got 10 wounds or more, he has a damage chart here. His movement's usually 8, so it has increased. Weapon skill 3+, ballistic skill 3+, and it starts to drop an inch at a time, and weapon skill at a time, ballistic skill at a time, as the wounds pile on. Strength, oh, it used to be 3 wounds, it's 10 wounds now. So, pretty good. Strength 7, toughness 7, 3 attacks, leadership 9 and 3+ save. Nice bit of durability there. 10 wounds is crazy. A Wraithlord is a single model armed with 2 shuriken catapults and Wraith bone fists. Let's see if you have to pay for Wraith bone fists. No, you don't. And shuriken catapults. No, you don't. Okay, so everything's free. So you could just pay out a flat rate there of 103 points. Because the Wraithbone Fists are actually AP -3 and 3 points of damage. So just as he is in combat, he's pretty good. At strength 7. Flamer. Here, so Flamer's range 8, D6 shots, strength 4, no AP minus, and 1 point damage. They auto hit the target. So, war gear options. This model may replace any shuriken catapult with a flamer. See how much that costs. Here, 9 points a time. It's quite expensive. Then you can take a ghost glaive. That will cost 10 points, same as it used to be. Ghost glaive will then give him +2 strength, that makes him strength 9. AP -4 and D6 points of damage for each hit going through. That makes him pretty nice. He's got the ability to, if he gets his hits, he's got the ability to cause trouble. Things like vehicles, characters and monstrous creatures. It's not bad, and he's tough enough. He can stand up to a lot of things in combat here. And then he may be equipped with up to 2 items from the heavy weapons list. You just pay out your usual points costs for giving him those weapons. So you're looking at about 130 odd points for, or maybe about 150 odd points if I take the 2 flamers, the configuration that I have. That's the Ghost Glaive, Bright Lance, and then the 2 flamers for him. So it's a little bit more expensive than it used to be, but tons of wounds now. 10 wounds instead of 3. Pretty good. Pretty good. No invuln though, but a nice lot of wounds to absorb damage coming through. So last then is the Wraith Knight. The Wraith Knight. Okay, so he has a chart here as well. That's 3+. He'll start off on for weapon skill, ballistic skill, movement of 12, then it drops to 10 and 8. There, weapon skill, ballistic skill drops to 4+, and then 5+ when he gets down to his last 6 wounds or worse. Talking of wounds, he has 24 wounds. There's a lot of wounds to get through. Strength 8 and toughness 8. That is a lot of wounds. He has 4 attacks. Leadership 9 and 3+ save. Wraith Knight is a single model armed with 2 heavy Wraith cannons, Titanic Wraithbone fists, and Titanic feet. Alright, so let's start with the heavy Wraith cannons. Range 36, assault 2. So if he's got 2 of them, that's 4 shots. Strength 10, AP -4, and D6 points of damage. So potentially cause some damage there. Pretty bad, yeah. Take out light vehicles pretty fast, medium vehicles in a turn or 2, and then cause significant damage on heavier vehicles as well. So pretty nasty. Scatter laser, shuriken cannon, star cannon, sun cannon. Right, sun cannon I'm interested in here. So it's range 48, heavy 2d6, so you're looking at 7 or 8 average number of shots, strength 6, AP -3, and D3 points of damage a time. The sun cannon's good, really good. Killer character, decent enough against vehicles, not too bad, and then a killer against things like Terminators. Yeah, Space Marines. Yeah, no, the sun cannon's decent. So, Titanic feat in combat is strength of the user, which is strength 8, AP -2, D3 points of damage a time. When you make an attack with this weapon, you roll 3 dice instead of 1. Right, this is your stomp replacement here. Then the Wraithbone fists. So if he fights in combat just with his fists, he has a standard. It's strength of the user, AP -3, and D6 points of damage a time. So reliable enough for close combat. If you take the Ghost Glaive, Titanic Ghost Glaive, it's ×2 strength. That'll put him on strength 16, I believe. AP -4, and damage is a straight 6. So, ouch. That's a killer. Yeah, that's going to cause real trouble. Yeah, just a straight up 6 damage. Nasty. So, modern replaces heavy Wraith cannons either with Titanic Ghost Glaive and Scatter Shield, or a Sun Cannon Scatter Shield. And you can take Scatter Laser, Shuriken Cannon, Star Cannons. Right, now, here we go. How much are each of these? So, the Wraith Knight is 402 points, so a big jump in points costs. Then the heavy Wraith cannons are 50 points a time. Yep, okay. So that puts him at 502 points for heavy Wraith cannons. Let's have a look here. Scatter Shield is 20 points. And then I'll look up Sun Cannon. Oh no! Sun Cannon's 118 points. Oh, you're joking, I thought it might have been 40 points or something. It's 118 points. Oh no. Oh dear, right, okay. Oh boy, that's painful. That's a painful points cost, that. That's made him very, very expensive. Okay, so miles over 500 points here. I mean, you're getting tons of wounds. He's so deadly, but that's a horrendous amount of points there for the Sun Cannon. But it is a decent weapon. I wonder how they calculated that 118 points. But anyway, that's the cost. And the Scatter Shield, okay. And then the Ghost Glaive, then the Titanic Ghost Glaive is 65 points. So cheaper option is the Ghost Glaive with the Scatter Shield. It's 85 points on top of that. So it keeps him under 500 points. It's a cheaper option. It may well be an option to go for, just to go for combat ability of him. His movement is 12. Okay, so we'll see what other bonuses he gets. He does have a 5+ invuln with a scatter shield. Catastrophic collapse, that just causes trouble if he dies. For each unit within 2d6, suffers d6 mortal wounds, but it's only if you roll a 6. Unstoppable Revenant. A Wraith Knight can fall back in the movement phase and still shoot and or charge during its turn. When a Wraith Knight falls back, it can even move over enemy infantry models, though at the end of its move it must be more than 1 inch from all enemy units. In addition, a Wraith Knight can move and fire heavy weapons without suffering the penalty to its rolls. Finally, a Wraith Knight only gains a bonus to its cover if at least half the model is obscured. Okay, so options for him then. I like the idea of the sword and the scatter shield to save points. To get if you want other units and to field a cheaper version, then the sword and the shield. They do look so cool when they have that pose, and then in combat it's just 6 points of damage a time. It's a killer. Yeah, and he gets to use his feet as well, so it's just a killer in combat. And what a fire magnet! Your opponent's just desperately going to try and kill him. And he's got 24 wounds to try and get through with a 5+ invuln save and toughness 8. So, yeah, Wraith Knight's as deadly as he ever has been, but you certainly pay the points for him. So that is actually it. That's the review then for Craftworlds in Index Xenos 1. So there's a number of units that were good. For the style that I played, there's a number of units that were good. Things like the Warp Spiders were superb at just popping vehicles, and not going to be able to do that as effectively. Nowhere near as effective anymore. A bit more vulnerable than they were as well. Jet bikes aren't troops anymore. So there are some changes there that will have an impact on this Eldar army. You can expect a different Eldar army. There are some shining examples though of some decent units. One of them being those shining spears. I particularly think they're pretty good. If they're able to charge into pick off isolated units of vehicles, they'll charge in, they'll cause a lot of trouble. And a nice bit of durability of them. The Wraith Knight's utterly deadly. He's definitely going to be a unit to be feared. And then Wraith Guard as well. And then for vehicles, I think the standard Wave Serpent, well protected, give it some upgrades, and then equip it with some fantastic weaponry on top as well. So that's the units I think are pretty decent in this codex. But leave your comments and feedback as to what units you think are good. And then other Eldar players or would-be Eldar players can take a look at those comments. That'd be a good area of discussion. But that is the review then for Craftworlds. The Eldar still are good, but we'll just have to wait and see as to how well they perform against the different factions that are out there, and then we'll see what kind of army I can put together. It will be fascinating reworking the list and then taking out some units, adding in some units. I'm pretty sure that will happen. If you want to follow that along, then head over to the Plus channel. Then over there you'll see army development videos for Eldar. You'll have an opportunity to see the army ahead of time before it's finished, and you can even leave your own ideas and input and even shape and form the way that army turns out. That's over on the Plus channel. There's all the other videos on there, campaigns and exclusive battle reports, and then in-depth painting tutorials and so on the Plus channel. But that's the review then for Index Xenos 1 Craftworlds. Keep a lookout for the Eldar army as we try and work on it to bring it back into 8th edition. But we'll see. Thanks for watching and tune in next time.